when you start shifting your energy from 3D to 5D, one of the things that you will start to notice, it is mostly a change of perspective. Perspective. It is a change of perspective, because operating from a 3D mindset or energy, you are tied to that energy, to the energy of 3D through a kind of a perspective that everyone who is in the 3D energy has. Everyone who is in the 3D energy, they have a certain perspective that tie them to the energy of the 3D. So when you start shifting out of that, it is a perspective. It is your perspective that will change. And when your perspective change, it is like you are free. You can feel that you are free, and things that have been bothering you, or even life situations, you will start to see them at a very, very different light. So when you are shifting from a 3D energy to a 5D energy, which this twin flame journey, it is what it is teaching you. It is bringing you to that place. If you are diligent in focusing and working on your twin flame journey, I'm not saying focusing on that individual. I'm saying about focusing on your spiritual ascension, because it is about your spiritual ascension. It is not about that other human being. That other human being is really a tool to help you, to support you, to accelerate you to shift to that energy of 5D. And it is a perspective. To me, it is a perspective. It is your perspective changes, because 3D energy is not 5D energy. It is not 5D energy. It is another kind of energy. And so it is like you are coming out of the lie of the 3D, which is not, I don't know if I'm saying the right word, but to me it is like illusion. Let me say illusion of the 3D to 5D. And it is your perspective that will start changing when you shift from that energy of 3D, which I have come to see and to understand and to experience it, that everyone is tied to this energy really through the wounds that they have, or whatever, if you see them as wounds or as a wound, it is tying anyone and everyone who comes into this 3D energy, because it is a perspective thing. They are tied to that energy. So when you are relieved, or when you are free of that kind of wounding and wounds and wound, whatever you will call it, you shift. You really shift your perspective. You really shift. You have a shift of energy. It is your perspective will start changing, how you see things, how you have seen things. You'll see them from a very, very different light, And that is like what will be freeing you. So the 5D energy is not the 3D energy. And if you are in between, that is what I like to think is the fourth dimension, 5D, which I don't think that many people talk about it. But it is also a place where you can really be, going like when you are shifting, when you are in transition in a 4D. But I am saying that when you are starting to shift and when you are more on the 5D side, it is your perspective that change. It is not you like you are changing. You don't become a different person. It is your perception that will change. And you will start seeing things from a very, very different light. So it is not a change like you as a person, you will change. It is your perspective that will change how you have been seeing things. You understand things from a very different state. And it is freeing. It is really like you are free. Because you'll just be, you are just you. It is like you are not judging, like you are not triggered, and even if you are triggered, it is not that intense. You are not dwelling on that triggers. You can come out like so easily, and you are able to see your thoughts most of the time, or even sometimes know, or most of the time know the reason that you act in a certain way, your reactions, like you know yourself in a better way, in a much intimate way. That is my own personal experience. That is my own personal experience. I don't know, people, maybe they experience things differently, but when you start to shift energies or those dimensions or whatever you call them, definitely it is a perspective that changes. Your perspective changes. And when it starts to change, you will know that it is changing. It is not something that you will go asking. You'll be surprised that you are not seeing things that way, but anyway, you'll understand you could not have seen that way, and you'll have a lot of gratitude that you are able to see things in that way. Because do you know how many people cannot see that? Or probably they will never come to a point where they have that perspective. So it is like an energy of 3D that controls really everybody who is in the 3D. They are controlled by that energy. That energy, the base of it is fear. How it is manifesting in you and everyone else, it is specific. It is specific. Very, very specific. Also specific with their beliefs. And it is working on your twin flame journey will really bring you to that point. Just know that your twin flame journey, it is not about that person. It is about you. It is about your ascension. I know sometimes if you have been addicted to that person, you cannot sometimes even accept, even understand what is that supposed to mean. But it really means that just do it. Focus on yourself. When you are focusing on yourself, it is like you are focusing on the twin flame. Just take care of yourself. If you are wondering where to start with self-care. Just self-care. Self-care. You can start from there. And you can even starting from there and committing yourself every day on self-care, you are going to see a shift even from that point. So I see you in the next videos.